How's it going, everybody? I'm Ben Cohen. We're going to be going through some cool rock and blues licks today. These are all essential licks that every guitarist should really have in their vocabulary. Think of these as part of the foundation of your rock and blues soloing. You'll want to practice each of these to where you can not just play the lick comfortably, but you want to be able to spontaneously bust out different variations of them on the fly while you're soloing. To do that, you'll have to really have each lick in your muscle memory, aka under your fingers. And there's going to be tabs for all of this as well on screen. All right, here's number one. A little faster. All right, so that's number one. We are going to be starting with our ring finger. We're going to slide in from the 5th fret to the 7th fret. Doesn't specify in the tab how many frets we're sliding, but generally if it has a slide in from below, it's going to just be a couple frets. So we're going to slide in from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on our D string with our 3rd finger. And then we're going to put our 1st finger on the 5th fret of the G string. 3rd finger goes on 7 on the G string. We're going to bend that up a whole step and then back down. After you do the bend up and down, you're going to hit the 5th fret on the 3rd string. And then lastly, we're going to slide back again with our ring finger from 5 to 7 on the D string. Make sure your bend is in tune. The way you can check that is by playing the note you're bending up to, which in this case is a whole step, so it's 2 frets above. So that would be the 9th fret on your G string. You can also play it on the 5th fret of your B string, which is better because then you can kind of easily check if it's in tune by going like this. So that's a good exercise just to work on the intonation of your bends, which is very important. And that's lick number 1. Lick number 2, this is based on the 3s pattern of the minor pentatonic scale. I'll do another video on that soon, but for now, here's the lick. A little faster. Okay, so for lick number 2, we're going to start on our 1st string on the 8th fret with our 4th finger. Then pull off to our 1st finger on 5. Then go to 8 on your 2nd string. Back to 5 on the 1st string. Back to 8 on the 2nd string. Pull off to 5. Back to 8. Pull off to 5 again. 7 on the G string. Pick that again and bend it up a whole step and then back down. Then pull off to 5. And then go to 7 on the D string. Okay, lick number 3. This is a classic blues lick. Kind of sounds like Chuck Berry. Here we go. Okay, so for this one, what you're going to want to do is use your ring finger, your 3rd finger for the bend on the 7th fret of the G string. Have your 2nd finger, your middle finger, helping it behind it. While I'm doing that bend, I have my 1st finger is barring the top 2 strings on the 5th fret. So that's like that. If you haven't done this style of lick before, it might take a little coordination to be able to keep that bar down solidly while doing the bend at the same time. So that'll come with time, practice. Number 4, this one's going to involve some finger rolls. Slow. Even slower. you haven't worked on your finger rolls before. This is kind of an important technique for any aspiring lead guitarist. First, we're just going to hammer on from 5 to 7 on the A string, first finger to third finger. Then your first finger goes on 5 on the D. Back to third finger on 7 on the A. And then what we're going to do, this is where the first finger roll happens. We're going to roll our third finger from the 7th fret on the A string down to the 7th fret on the D string. So that's like this. So essentially what we're doing there is the tip of the finger is basically staying on the A string on the 7th fret. The pad of that third finger is going to lay down flat on the next string, the D string, on the same fret, the 7th fret. It's sort of like you're barring, except you don't want the notes to actually ring out fully together. Like, you don't want it to be like... You don't want it to be like that. You want to separate them. So that can take a little practice, basically. Just to be able to get that separation. You're releasing the pressure just enough while still making contact with the string in order to get that A string to stop ringing out and the D string note to begin ringing out. So that all comes down to hand synchronization, just making sure that that's all happening basically in a split second. The A string needs to stop ringing and the D string needs to start ringing. So that's what you want to work on for that one. Then we're going to go up to the 5th fret on the G string with our first finger, third finger on 7 on the D. You're going to roll that down just like we did before, but now we're rolling from the 7th fret on the D up to the 7th fret on the G. And then we roll it back to the 7th fret on the D. Then first finger is going to go on 5th fret of the B string. And then you're going to do that same bend we did in some of the other licks, that 7th fret on the G string bend up a whole step. So again. Once you get it into that higher speed, it helps to palm mute a bit to make it cleaner. All right, so that was number 4. Number 5 is going to go like this. Once you get it fast. All right, so that one, we're going to do a pull off from our 3rd to our 1st finger on the 7th fret to the 5th fret of our 3rd string, our G string. So that's... Then we're going to do those same 2 frets on the D string, 7, 5, but those ones we're going to pick rather than pulling off. Then we go back to the 5th fret on the G string with our first finger. And then we're going to go back to 7, 5 on the D string, pulling off from our 3rd finger to our first finger. And then 3rd finger goes on 7 on the A. Then pull off again from 7 to 5 on the D string. We're going to go 7, 5 on the A string, but pick each note this time. First finger is then going to go on the 5th fret of the D string. We're going to pull off from 7 to 5 on the A. 4th finger goes on 8 on the low E string. And lastly, we're going to hit the 5th fret on the low E string with our first finger. It sounds cool if you palm mute just the strings that are being picked, but not the ones that you're doing the legato, the pull-offs on. But that's optional. You can do it either way. So this is without the palm muting. Sounds cool. Or if we palm mute just the strings we're picking, not the ones we're pulling off on, it's going to sound like this. I like that better personally, but it's also a little harder.